talk a little bit about Mitch McConnell and the chance he's going to become a folk hero. It ain't going to likely happen. Ain't going to likely happen because I want you to look at his net approval ratings. He is underwater with everybody. He has got the ultimate, or some might say, sad trifecta of being underwater overall. Minus 39 points. 39 percentage points more of the electorate disapproves than approves of the jobs that he has done. How about Democrats? He's 58 points underwater. My goodness gracious, the chance that all of a sudden, just because he cast 3 votes against Trump, that he'd somehow become a folk hero with them is absolutely, frankly, insane. And then with the Republicans, of course, he's gone up against Trump before, and that's why he's 17 points underwater with Republicans. When you're underwater with Democrats, Republicans, and overall, the chance that you're going to become a folk hero, it seems rather low to me, Paula.
It does indeed. All right. Of course, the next question is, how does his popularity compare with that of President Trump?
Yeah, so, I think Donald Trump will like these numbers. All right, so let's take a look. This is the net approval rating I got overall and I got with Republicans. Look how much higher Donald Trump is overall versus Mitch McConnell. Look at that. Trump is on the positive side of the ledger at +3. Mitch McConnell, of course, underwater overall at minus 39. So Trump is 42 points higher than Mitch McConnell is overall. Among Republicans, of course, Donald Trump very popular there with a +82-point net approval rating. Of course, Mitch McConnell, again, underwater at minus 17. So you do the math quickly here, 82, 17. That is nearly 100 points higher that Donald Trump is net approval rating-wise with Republicans than Mitch McConnell is. The bottom line is that when it comes to the popularity battle, Donald Trump comes out way, way, way ahead of Mitch McConnell.
Okay. But is this just a problem with majority leaders? Is this like a heavy is the head situation? I mean, put this into historical context. Where does he stack up against other majority leaders?
Yeah, I always like going through the history books, right? I love spreadsheets. I love history books. So let's go take a look through the history books. We'll take a look at the net popularity ratings of GOP Senate leaders, their final ratings as majority leaders. Take a look here. Mitch McConnell, again, underwater at minus 39 points. How about his predecessor, Dr. Bill Frist from the great state of Tennessee? He was underwater, too, but he was only at minus 8 points. Trent Lott was at +5 points from the great state of Mississippi. And, of course, Bob Dole from the great state of Kansas, he was above water as well at +6 points. So the bottom line is Mitch McConnell, a historical anomaly when it comes to Republican leaders. He is far, far, far more underwater than any of the past GOP leaders over the last 40 years, Paula.
Hello there, friends. Welcome. I am so glad you could join me right now. If you find some comfort, truth, and hope in our time together today, please take a quick second to like this video, share it with your family and friends, and hit that subscribe button. It helps us keep these important American stories going strong.
How are you feeling, Leader McConnell? How are you feeling, Leader McConnell?
Okay.
Senator, you're up for election in 3 short years. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, I had a hard time hearing you.
That's okay. What are your thoughts on running for re-election in 2026?
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026?
yes.
All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator Penny.
Yep.
I'm going to head outside, so come with us. Okay.
Somebody else have a...
So, at the beginning? No, I have no idea. I have no idea how he's doing. At the beginning of
There are 7 Republican senators that are currently in office that are against the American people. They have shown this as much via their votes. Most recently, 4 siding with Tim Kaine to stop the Canadian tariffs that Donald Trump has put in place. All 7 have expressed interest in removing Trump's executive authority in regards to tariffs and placing that solely with Congress. Essentially, what they're trying to do is make America last. They haven't passed the SAVE Act. They haven't gone through and stripped any DC powers that be. They haven't passed any of Trump's other executive orders. But you mean to tell me that they can get on board with the Democrat minority and pass Tim Kaine's bill in rapid profession? I don't fucking think so. Don't forget their faces, don't forget their names, don't forget their net worth, and pay attention to how they vote moving forward. They are the following: Susan Collins of Maine, Rand Paul of Kentucky, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, Jerry Moran of Kansas, Tom Tillis of North Carolina, and Chuck Grassley of Iowa. Mitch McConnell has a net worth of approximately $35 million. Tom Tillis has a net worth of approximately $12 million. Lisa Murkowski and Jerry Moran are both sitting at around roughly $2 million. Rand Paul is worth about $30 million. Susan Collins is worth roughly $7 million. And Chuck Grassley's sitting around $10 million. These people all made a lot of money, astronomical, by getting their pockets padded. And so when you start seeing them paying homage to the likes of Canada and the globalist enterprises up there that were stolen from us via NAFTA, should have come as a surprise that they want to stop the President of the United States from doing good things for the American people. Because good things for the American people mean less money for people like them.
Folks, gather around and listen close, because what I'm about to share with you right now hits right at the deep heart of what it means to put America first. Just recently, the doctors up on Capitol Hill, the ones who watch over our lawmakers, put out a very clear message. That message landed like a firm, gentle hand on the shoulder of every hard-working American who is just plain tired of the same old, slow Washington ways. The doctors officially shared that 4-year-old Senator Mitch McConnell from Kentucky is still not medically cleared to leave his rehab center. He is not cleared to head back to work on the Senate floor either. As we sit here today, the senator is working hard to recover. After a fall at his home a while back and a mild bout of sickness in his lungs, the doctors have him doing tough physical therapy every single day. You see, he had a sickness called polio when he was just a little boy. That childhood illness has always made walking a bit tougher for him as the years pile on. Right now, the doctors are entirely focused on rebuilding his strength so he does not risk falling again. We all certainly wish him the very best and pray for his health, comfort, and healing during this hard time. Now, Senator McConnell has already told the country that this will be his very last term in office. He is set to step away when his time ends early next year. But with this newest word from his doctors that he is simply not ready to return to work yet, you can truly feel a big shift in the wind. There are highly important rules waiting to be passed right now, like the Save America Act. That is a simple, common sense bill meant to protect our elections and make sure every legal vote counts. With important bills like that just sitting there, waiting for progress, conservative folks who love this country deeply have been very patient for a long, long time. Because of this delay, whispers and rumors are floating around Washington right at this very moment. People are saying a resignation announcement might come sooner rather than later. If he steps down early, it opens the door wide for fresh, new energy. It makes room for a leader who fully lines up with the bright America First vision of our 45th and 47th President, Donald Trump. I am not saying a resignation is locked in for tomorrow morning, but the writing on the wall is getting clearer by the minute. It is pointing toward a much stronger, faster path ahead for the everyday people who built this great nation. We are standing at a crossroads, friends, and the need for strong, healthy leaders who can fight for you and me has never been more clear.
RFK Jr. as the next health secretary, citing conspiracy theories. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I feel sorry for Mitch. And I was one of the people that he wanted to go to the end and he wanted to stay leader. He's not equipped mentally. He wasn't equipped 10 years ago mentally, in my opinion. He'd let the Republican Party go to hell. If I didn't come along, the Republican Party wouldn't even exist right now. Mitch McConnell never really had it. He had an ability to raise money because of his position as leader, which anybody could do. You could do it even, and that's saying a lot. But the fact is that he raised money and he gave a lot of money to senators, and so he had a little loyalty based on the fact that as leader you could raise a lot of money. Senators would call me and they say, he wants to give me 20, 25 million. Can I take it? I'd say, take the money. Take the money. But he engendered a certain amount of, I don't even call it loyalty. He was able to get votes. But I was the one that got him to drop out of the leadership position, so he can't love me. But he's not voting against Bobby. He's voting against me, but that's all right. He endorsed me. Do you know that Mitch endorsed me, right?
Well, he did.
You think that was easy? What?
He had polio, obviously, and
I don't know. I don't know anything about he had polio. He had polio.
Are you doubting that he had polio?
I have no idea if he had polio. All I can tell you about him is that he shouldn't have been leader. He knows that. He voted against Bobby. He votes against almost everything now. He's a very bitter guy, and we have a very strong party. And he's almost not even really a very powerful member. I'd say he's not he's lost his power, and it's affected his vote. And it's one of those things. But in the meantime, Bobby did great, got more votes than anybody thought, and I think he's going to do phenomenally, just phenomenally in that position. And everybody else likewise did well. Not only well, they got more votes than anybody thought. Tulsi, look at how she did. She did great.
Breaking news, a very reputable publication in Washington, D.C. just published Mitch McConnell's eulogy, as though Mitch McConnell has died. And while it seems like an error, perhaps, some type of mistake, they already had it pre-written. Has the whole do not use, a look back at Mitch McConnell's time in the Senate. You can see it right here in the Internet Archive. This from The Hill, one of the premier publications for inside Washington, D.C. And this happens sometimes where people get trigger happy and they publish something that they had pre-written, or perhaps they're publishing early before an embargo breaks. Has Mitch McConnell died? That is my question. We're hearing reports that Mitch McConnell is brain dead in the hospital and is no longer with us. While we don't know if he's on this mortal plane, that's what we are hearing from some very high-level people inside of the government and inside of the Trump White House. And so what's going to happen next? This is the last time we saw Mitch McConnell alive. The last time we saw Mitch McConnell alive, he couldn't even finish chairing his own committee meeting. He was humiliated by his own staffer. His lips were purple.
Wrap up after.
Cold here.
You can see the blood vessels had burst under his eyes. He had no blood circulation. He had to be told by staffers what to do.
Yeah.
Listen to that.
Yeah.
What is that? That's not a human noise.
Obviously, there's not a whole lot of time for a second round. So
Slurring his words. And then Mitch McConnell gets up in the middle of the hearing and runs away, just like Joe Biden used to do. What happened later that day? Mitch McConnell is walking by himself down a hallway and then just collapses. Nobody touches him. Nobody scares him. He just falls over. What is that? It's blood loss. It looks like he was having a cardiac arrest there. We know that he had a cardiac arrest and was taken to the hospital totally unresponsive and unable to communicate. It's been more than a week since Senator McConnell, who turned 84, was admitted to the hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, though his team has not disclosed why he was in the hospital or provided any detail. This is out of date. This is from July 6th. It's been more than 3 weeks, correction, since Mitch McConnell, who turned 84. So it's been a month. Nobody knows. Now, we do have the 911 call and the dispatch. And the dispatch says that Mitch McConnell had a life-threatening injury, was unresponsive, and had a cardiac arrest, we now know. Independent journalist is reporting that 84-year-old Senator McConnell, mysteriously hospitalized last month, suffering from cardiac arrest, has not been publicly seen, is on life support and brain dead, though nothing has been officially confirmed by the family or office of the senator. This is how you know it's really bad. Because Mitch McConnell's office, my goodness, look at one of these. This is one of the last known photographs of Mitch McConnell. Look at this. Look at his hands. Look at his hands. Bruised, battered, blackened, no blood flow, clearly falling constantly, breaking or injuring his hands. The no-slip shoes, the mountain climbing shoes here just to walk across flat surfaces. There are now multiple reports from a variety of sources, left and right, claiming that Mitch McConnell is unconscious and likely brain dead. And family members are not pushing back on these reports. Senator McConnell has now been hospitalized for 3 weeks. The gravity of the situation cannot be overstated, especially since his wife, Elaine Chao, appeared in China days after his hospitalizations. This is probably the most evil thing I've seen happen in politics, and I watched all 4 years of Joe Biden. At least Jill Biden didn't sneak off to go confer with her Chinese state handlers. I'm not saying that she doesn't have them, but Elaine Chao did. Elaine Chao's Chinese. And she was born in Taiwan. Her parents are Chinese. They are in business with the Communist Party of China. They're billionaires. They run a massive shipping business through China. And you can't do that without the government's permission. It is a Chinese communist dictatorship. Well, anyway, Elaine Chao is not by her husband's side. Elaine Chao is in China, minting deals, meeting with the highest possible echelons of Chinese Party communist leadership while her husband is dying in the hospital. Okay, what does that tell you exactly? The question now is national security. If Senator McConnell is unable to independently perform his duty, what safeguards exist to ensure classified intelligence briefings, defense appropriations information, or other sensitive congressional matters could not be accessed, discussed, and shared with the Communist Party of China? It's a great point. And given the timing of Chao's meeting with the Chinese vice president, what was discussed? Why the hell was she in China? High-ranking source says McConnell is officially brain dead. He's not coming back. I checked with the staff. Latest update from Mitch McConnell's lying staff, who's been lying, by the way, about his condition for years. We appreciate the outpouring of support. He's recovering in the hospital. So this is very interesting. This is new. They say he's in the hospital. The senator continues to improve and is working closely with his staff on Kentucky and Senate matters while the Senate is out of session. Oh, I'm sure. So they confirmed that he's still in the hospital. I spoke with a neighbor who lives next door to Mitch McConnell, and she said that she was there when the medical emergency occurred, and she saw him being taken to the hospital, and she's not seen anybody home since that day.
No family has come? I haven't seen anyone coming or going from there. Yeah, because I know his Capitol Police Detail, they're over at the hospital, so I just thought So his wife, Elaine Chao, was found in China 3 days after he went into cardiac arrest. So we're trying to figure out where she is. It doesn't look like she has come back to the house. So I was wondering, have you seen her at all? I haven't seen anyone. Oh my God. Can you explain what happened? I have to go to work. Yeah, sorry.
Well, intrepid reporting right there. I want to see proof of life at this point. Something has to be done. There has to be some sort of deadline that they're holding out for. Well, thank you, Derek Evans, because you're exactly right. There is a deadline. It is August 3rd. August 3rd is when you cannot have a special election for a Senate seat for a deceased or resigned senator in Kentucky based on Kentucky law. So they are trying to hold out Mitch McConnell, who's allegedly brain dead at the hospital, never coming back. They're trying to keep him having a pulse, which they can probably do medically, and keep this a secret so that there can't be a Trump Republican that is elected or appointed to that seat. Sorry, it would be a special election based on Kentucky law. They have to hold out for 3 months before the election. Then it'll just go to the regular general election. They could pass the Save America Act. Mitch McConnell is the deciding vote against killing the filibuster. And if you get a special election and you have a Trump Republican who would win in a landslide, win that election, like a Nate Morris, right? Win that election, then you are able to pass the Save America Act. This is what they're trying to hold out on. These are evil, evil bastards. This is what they're doing. They're using Mitch McConnell's corpse to do that. And it's not the first time they've done it. Look at Dianne Feinstein here. She died in office. Look at this. Actual crypt keeper. Yes, Mitch McConnell's wife did literally flee to China after Mitch McConnell is brain dead in the hospital. Where's his wife? They've been married for 40 years. And his wife isn't by his side? His wife is in China as he's brain dead? Ladies and gentlemen, something very evil is happening here. It's as bad as you ever thought. And we need answers. We need proof of life immediately. Trump should call this out, and we need to get to the bottom of this. This is worse than what they did with Joe Biden. It is. And since it's my party, it's my obligation to say it. Okay? It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe.
Let me tell you exactly why this shift in Washington matters so much to everyday folks, to families just like yours and mine. Picture a hard-working dad at a big factory in Ohio, or a farmer in Iowa waking up while the sky's still pitch black. They put in long, tiring hours every single day. All they really want is a safe country, fair voting, and a government that cares about their families first. For years and years, the older leaders in Washington just moved way too slow. Then President Donald Trump came along with big, brave ideas. He told us we need simple, real rules to keep our elections completely safe. He said if you are going to vote in our country, you should show a simple picture ID, just like you do when you borrow a book from the library or hop on an airplane. That is the true heart of the Save America Act. It is just plain common sense. No silly games, just fairness for everyone. But right now, progress on that good law is stuck waiting in the Senate. Senator McConnell, needing extra time away to heal, reminds us how much we need every single seat filled with strong leaders who are ready to charge forward without stopping. I have watched this beautiful country through good sunny times and hard rainy days. I have seen many presidents come and go, but let me tell you, nothing lights a warm, happy fire in my heart, quite like the way President Trump stands tall for the forgotten men and women of our towns. He does not whisper. He speaks plain and clear. He fights for the folks who proudly wave the American flag on their front porches, the parents who teach their kids the Pledge of Allegiance, and the people who believe in honest, hard work. When we hear the doctors say our senator needs more time to rest and heal, it reminds us that change is just a natural part of keeping America strong. Our Senate needs voices that match the bright, happy energy of the people who elected President Trump and who keep cheering for him. Everyday Americans feel this deep down in their hearts. Imagine a mom in Kentucky hoping for better rules so her husband's job stays safe. Think of a brave veteran in Texas hoping we keep our country safe right here at home. When our leaders truly put America first, all those good folks can finally breathe easier. They see bright hope instead of the same old delays. President Trump's strength truly shines in moments exactly like this one. He never, ever backs down from putting the American worker right, at the front of the line. Do you remember how he helped rebuild our military and brought factories back home? That is his clear vision. It is bold, and he never apologizes for loving this country. I talked to a nice truck driver the other day, a good man who raised 3 kids driving big trucks across our highways. He told me, when President Trump talks about keeping our elections safe, I know my vote matters and my family's future is protected. That is a real, beautiful connection. It is the deep, warm pride of watching your country put its own people first again.
name is Stella. I want to ask, do you support ICE taking working people off the streets and kidnapping them?
I want to play a clip from one of the most bizarre interviews I did while filming my documentary, Everyone is Lying to You for Money. How much have you donated to politicians?
So, I don't remember the I can get back to you on that. I don't remember the latest figure off the top of my head.
Like a round number?
Ballpark. I think.
Sam, you really need to.
Okay, got it, yeah.
This is Sam Bankman-Fried. When I talked to him in 2022, Sam was supposedly one of the 100 richest people in the world, and he was giving a lot of his money to politicians. At the time, I couldn't figure out why Sam was hedging. After all, it was public information that he'd given $40 million to Democratic super PACs and campaigns. But the answer soon became clear when Sam's empire collapsed in spectacular fashion. He was arrested and charged with a variety of crimes, including running a $100 million straw donor scheme, secretly giving tens of millions to Republicans through his employees. He was playing both sides. While that charge was ultimately dropped, his colleague Ryan Salem pled guilty to making illegal political contributions and was sentenced to 7.5 years in jail. Sam's now behind bars himself, but the money the crypto industry is dumping into politics only continues to grow. In the 2024 election cycle, it legally spent $245 million, accounting for nearly half of all corporate contributions in the cycle. Recently, the largest crypto super PAC, Fairshake, has boasted about having $220 million to spend in 2026, and we haven't even gotten through the primaries. Sadly, crypto has gotten what it paid for. Last year, the House and the Senate passed and Trump signed into law a piece of legislation called the Genius Act. With this Congress, if it's called the Genius Act, you know it's got to be dumb. The bill allows corporations to issue their own money in the form of cryptocurrency. Literal corporate money, just what we need. That's not all. If the crypto industry gets its way, another bill called the Clarity Act will be passed, and the Clarity Act is even worse than the Genius Act. It would weaken investor protections and put much of the industry under the jurisdiction of the CFTC rather than the SEC, which is something that Sam Bankman-Fried also wanted before he was arrested. If left unchecked, crypto oligarchs will continue bribing our elected leaders to vote against the interests of their constituents, and they will bring crypto even further into our regulated financial system. And when crypto blows up again, this time it may well contribute to the next great financial crisis. So this year, before stepping into the voting booth, educate yourself on your representative's stance on crypto. In an election with so much at stake, the last thing we need is more politicians bought and paid for by the cryptocurrency industry.
I think we had a really great meeting, and we're very proud of the party. We like everybody really in the room. I don't like a few people, but that's okay. I think you know who they are. But I'll give you that information someday. But for the most part, we have a really well-unified party. And I said it very strongly. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're the most powerful, we're the smartest, we're the most respected. 2 years ago, we were a laughingstock all over the world. We had a terrible group of people representing us. Every leader, I just left G7, every leader, and we had a lot of people in addition to G7, as you know, came. Everyone said, what we've done in a year and a half is a miracle.
History gently teaches us that sometimes leaders who have been in Washington a very long time hold on a bit longer than the changing seasons allow. Senator McConnell has served for many decades, and he has done some good things over those years. But the America First movement, led by President Trump, is all about moving forward right now with fresh, happy determination. With the senator still working so hard on his recovery and healing, the path naturally opens up for new leaders. We need helpers in the Senate who share the full, bright fire of President Trump's plans. Imagine the Senate finally passing that Save America Act without any old roadblocks. In the way, it would mean voters showing a simple picture ID just to keep things totally fair. It makes sure that every hardworking American can trust our elections completely. I think back to the beautiful families who stood in long lines for hours to vote for President Trump, rain or shine, because they truly believed in his promise to put our country first. I know one sweet elderly couple from the quiet town out in the Midwest. They spent days fixing up their rusty old pickup truck just so they could drive to the voting booth when the wonderful results came in for his second term as our 47th president. The wife wiped happy tears from her cheeks. She smiled and said finally, "We have someone who truly sees us. That is a deep, unbreakable bond." President Trump's bold leadership gives good folks a real reason to believe. Again, his vision is not hard to understand at all. Safe borders, fair rules for workers, and elections that truly belong to the American people. I have heard young people say they started caring about their country again just because of him. A young car mechanic down in the South told me, "President Trump made me proud to be an American again." He fights for us straight on, and he never quits. Beautiful stories like that pour in from every single corner of our great land. A sweet grandmother in the heartland knitting American flags for her grandchildren while watching joyful rallies on her television. A ranch helper out west who feels safer at night knowing our country is protected. These are the real, everyday Americans lifted up by this hopeful vision. When we hear the doctors say a senator still needs rehab and isn't quite ready to return, it gently reminds us that the important business of we the people cannot wait forever. The whispers swirling around Washington about new leaders stepping up are not born of anger. Not at all. They are born of pure, bright hope. It is a hope that our Senate will fill every single chair with that exact same fighting spirit that President Trump brings to work every single day. So here we sit together, sharing this peaceful moment. Whether a new senator steps up very soon or when the term naturally ends, our direction is set. America first is our chosen course. President Trump is a strong captain who never ever loses sight of the shore. The future belongs to those who stand arm in arm with the people, who protect our beautiful Constitution, and who never stop believing that this is still the greatest country on God's green earth. Keep the faith, my friends. Stand tall. The very best days are still ahead of us under the bright banner of America First and the unbreakable strength of President Donald Trump. Well, folks, if this message brought a little extra light and hope to your day, I would be truly honored if you would hit that subscribe button to join our growing family. Please give this video a simple like and share it with someone you love who might need a warm reminder that America's best days are just ahead of us. God bless you, and God bless America.